Hello everybody and welcome back to my channel. I'm so happy that you wanted to join me today because today we are going to talk about food. I recently posted a video where I got my boyfriend to be vegan for 100 days. And if you haven't watched that video, please go and watch it. It's great fun and it's very educational, I guess. I really enjoyed making that video. It's really cool to see someone a little bit out of their comfort zone and really growing from it. So I really appreciated that. But a lot of you guys DM'd me and commented on this video that you could never be vegan because you don't really like vegetables and you can't be vegan or you don't feel like you can be vegan because all you really like is chicken, or you don't feel that you can be vegan because you generally are quite picky and don't like a lot of foods. So I thought this would be a really interesting and good and fun video to make. Talk to you guys a little bit about how to be a picky eater and how not to, and what to do if you are, and how to deal with not liking stuff when you're vegan. And it seems like when you look at vegan food and you look at vegan bloggers that make content about food, that you need to like a lot of stuff that you didn't really used to cook with before. And it's very natural, I guess, to feel sort of intimidated by this. There's a lot of stuff I don't like as well, so this is going to be me from my own personal experience, and hopefully you can learn a little bit from that. Before we get started, I think it's a good idea to define what a picky eater is, or what it means to be a picky eater. And a dietitian defines picky eating like this. There is no scientific definition of picky eating, but typically it includes the avoidance or dislike of certain, and in some cases many, types of food. We often think that a picky eater is a young child, and it often is. However, picky eating can occur at any age and with many different types of behaviors. The spectrum of picky eating ranges from those who have sensory disorders to those who have neophobia, a fear of new foods. Okay, so that's the tea. Now, I have gathered 9 tips or so, I guess, to try and come up with some solutions if you are a picky eater and if you don't want to be. And if you are a picky eater but also wants to go vegan. And I would argue that everyone should try at least to go vegan. So if you are a picky eater and that's what sort of holds you back, this is the video for you, so let's go. First of all, it's healthy to try foods that you don't like, and it's healthy to try new foods. But if you are kind of reluctant to try a lot of new foods, and if there is a lot of stuff you don't like, don't try all of them at once. I guess that makes pretty much sense. But it's something that I feel that I struggle with a lot. There's stuff that I don't like as well. I don't like, let's see if I can remember everything. I don't like most mushrooms. I don't like sun-dried tomatoes. I don't like artichokes. I don't like olives. I don't like silky tofu. What else don't I like? I mean, I don't like raw onions. I don't like sunflower seeds. There's a lot of stuff I don't like as well. And if I am trying to sort of challenge myself and eat something that I don't like, it usually don't help to put everything that I don't like into one dish, because then I'm going to be rather negatively charged towards it from the beginning. So if you want to try some new things, or if you want to challenge yourself a little bit, try to add one thing you don't like to a dish, and it makes it way more easy to eat it and have a positive experience with that. And let it be a small thing in the beginning, and let yourself work your way up. So for instance, if I was to do this myself, I would make a salad, perhaps with sunflower seeds in it, or I would make a burger, perhaps with a mushroom in it, or eat a pizza, perhaps with a mushroom or an artichoke on it. And then there would be a lot of stuff in the dish that I really like, and that could sort of camouflage or mask the thing that I don't like, and that makes it way more easy to have it the next time. She's smart. So this is about plant-based products in cooking. A lot of people that I've heard don't like vegan milks, for instance, or vegan butters, because they feel like the taste of the texture is different. So don't start your vegan journey by choking a glass of oat milk if that's something that you're reluctant to do. Instead, try to use it in cooking firstly, because cooking with plant-based milks has the exact same effect as cooking with cow's milk, and using butter in cooking or in baking has the exact same effect as cooking with plant-based butter. There's really no difference. So if you want to make these products a little bit less intimidating for yourself, then try to use them in a dish where you're not just getting like an entire jar or like an entire spoonful of this thing, but try to incorporate it slowly and naturally, because then you'll realize that it's just as good, or sometimes even better. Okay, so I want to be the first one to say this. I'm not the first one to say this at all, by the way. But some substitute meats suck. Some fake meats are disgusting, and that is just the tea. That's just how it is. But don't be turned off from substitute meats completely just because you've had a few bad examples of it, just because you found a couple of brands that you didn't like at all, because that happens to everyone. That happens to vegans as well all the time. But try again and try it again. And I found that the products from Like Meat, I think it's a German brand, their Like Meat chicken chunks have the exact same texture and flavor as chicken, and I use them all the time now. And I especially use them if people are kind of skeptical, and I serve them to people who have had really bad substitute meats and they're always blown away by it. So don't let yourself be discouraged just because you've had a few bad examples of substitute meats. Also, if you want to go vegan, you don't need substitute meats. You really don't. They can be nice and good, like a luxury kind of thing, but you can also definitely go vegan without them. I have just, in my personal experience, found that it was easier for me to go vegan because of some of them. So if you're a bad cook, a lot of people are. I have been a bad cook as well. It can be actually kind of damaging for your entire idea of veganism if the first vegan dish you try is something that you make yourself and you haven't made it before, and sometimes the end product and like the result is not as good as you had hoped. So if you are interested in veganism, try to find a vegan restaurant and try to order something from them, because then there are actual cooks who knows what they're doing, who is doing it for you, and you will get like the best of the best. And go and read reviews. Find out which vegan restaurant or which vegan option at a restaurant is generally rated the highest, and try that, because then you have like the best of the best. And you won't have an idea of veganism that's tainted by bad substitute meats or socky stews, or is that my new band name, Socky Stews? Hey. The thing that I see with a lot of picky eaters, and that I have found myself, is the fear of not knowing. I'm very reluctant to try new dishes at restaurants, and I'm actually also very reluctant at trying to make new dishes at home, because what if I don't like it? What if the texture is weird? What if I don't feel like there's a lot of stuff that can go on there, and this is all going to seem very spoiled, but that's just how I feel sometimes, and I guess a lot of people can relate to that. So what I do if I'm going to a restaurant that I have never been to before, I like to go on the internets and read reviews and find pictures of the food there, and then I can sort of see what the food looks like. I can get an idea of what the measure, like what the ratios are, and you can also sometimes see the textures of the stuff, and it makes it more easy for me to try new things because I know exactly what it looks like. And that's just something that had helped me, because the fear of not knowing is one of the biggest aspects of picky eating, I guess. It's the fear of what if it's bad, or what if it tastes badly, what if it makes me sick or nauseous and something. Generally, if you want reviews of vegan foods or vegan restaurants, go to the app Happy Cow, because they often post pictures, and it also shows you all the vegan options and vegan restaurants in your local area. So just pro tip. Another thing that's good to know is the difference between habit and preference. It's completely okay to prefer some foods over others, and that's very human and not something you should knock yourself on the head over. But habit is something that can control you so much that it becomes almost disabling for you. And habits can be broken. Habits can be broken not necessarily easily, but simply, just by challenging yourself a little bit at the time. An example of this is, I don't really like mushrooms. I prefer my food without mushrooms. But ordering something without mushrooms in it has become a habit of mine, and asking people to take them off when I order something in restaurants has also become a bad habit of mine. Rather than just giving in to this habit and just letting things run its course, I try to challenge myself by ordering a pizza with mushrooms on it anyway, because those sort of habits can become really controlling, which means that if sometimes I get food where you cannot take the mushrooms out, or if I forget to say, I become really uncomfortable. And I don't do that in the same way if I sort of challenge myself now and then, because then I know what mushrooms taste like. I know it's not my preferred favorite vegetable, but it's still something that I can stomach even though I don't love it. And that's really important, just doing it anyway. Which seems really simple and not true at all, but sometimes it just is. It's just doing it anyway. If you're completely new to vegan cooking, it can be super, super intimidating because there's a lot of stuff in vegan cooking that I personally never heard of before, like nutritional yeast. Never heard of it before going vegan. And a good thing that you can do is trying to map out what do you like. Try to think about what do you like, what do you prefer, what are things that you prefer, and then try to mimic those stuff in your new dishes. Maybe you don't like raw vegetables, then you don't have to eat raw vegetables. Maybe you don't like boiled vegetables, then you don't have to eat boiled vegetables. Do you like stuff in sauces that are sort of like even and smooth? You can make that vegan as well. Do you like burgers? You can make those vegan. Do you like pizzas? Make those vegan. Do you like burritos? Make those vegan. Two things I reckon helped me go vegan so much and has just made my life so easy is liquid smoke. Liquid smoke you can buy in a lot of different places, and it's just meat flavor, basically. It's just made with, I reckon, mostly sugar, but it gives your lentils or your soy or your seitan or whatever this extra kick. It makes it taste a little bit like grill, and that's something that can have positive associations for you. So if that's your jam, then generally do that. And the other thing that has just made my life so easy is a good vegan mayo, because I like wraps and burgers and sandwiches, and having a good vegan mayo can really, really make the world of a difference, because I can also make tons of other dressings with that as a baseline. If you don't think this is something that you can do, if you don't think that you can cut out animal products and replace them with vegan alternatives, try a little bit anyway. Because you know what's vegan? Potatoes, bread, rice, pasta, these staples that we all have, and I guess a lot of people like. I know very many picky eaters and all of them like these things, like especially pasta and rice, because it's easy to flavor. And if you want something to start off with, a peanut butter and jelly sandwich is usually vegan, unless there's gelatin in the jam, but you can easily find them without, so. And then work your way up to a vegan BLT. I'm not saying that you only have to eat BLTs now for the rest of your life, because that's the only thing that you like. But knowing that this is at least something you like makes it easier to transfer into more difficult or more complex dishes. I think this is something I've been saying throughout the entire video, is just go do it anyway. Go challenge yourself. And I know that can be extremely hard and extremely intimidating to someone. You're talking to a girl who's had like 2 eating disorders, and it's difficult, and I know on my own body how intimidating and horrifying it can be, but just go ahead and do it a little bit anyway. I think that's such a healthy thing to say to yourself, and even if it's just by making a vegan BLT or making a falafel, I mean, at least you're going somewhere, and I think that's so, so, so important. So just challenge yourself, just go ahead and do it. Start by making stuff into dishes, like into the cooking. Go to a good vegan restaurants. There's so many things that you can do. So I hope that this video was helpful to some of you. To all my picky eaters out there, this one goes out to you, and take really good care of yourselves, and I'll hope to see you guys in my next video. Bye. Thank you so much for watching this video, and also a special thank you to my Patreon supporters. You guys help me create green, zero-waste content, and I love you guys. You can find the links to my social media accounts down below and the link to my Patreon on this screen. Bye!